Hey guys, Marianne.houck here. Good morning or good evening, depending on where you are. So today I wanted to talk for a couple minutes about the words I can't. Now, that shouldn't even be part of your vocabulary. So let me explain why. Years ago, I was reading Robert Kiyosaki's books, and I hope you guys have read those because they are very good. So if you haven't, I highly advise you to do that. But something really stuck out in my brain, and it's been there for years. The words I can't. Because what happens, believe it or not, as soon as you say I can't to something, your brain shuts down on thinking about ways that you can. Now, I know that sounds weird, but it's true. So when anybody, brings you an opportunity and right away you just say, I can't, too busy, don't have time, I got Netflix to watch, or whatever the case may be. Or, if somebody comes to you and says, do you want to go out tonight and, go see a movie or something, and you say, I can't, that makes sense, right? The context is different. So, but the point I'm trying to make is when you say I can't, then you're out of options already for thinking of ways you can, because your brain stops thinking about it. You just shut it off, right? As soon as you say I can't, it's, okay, move on to the next thing, right? So like if you say I can't afford Starbucks every day, this is 365. It is ridiculous. I'm not condoning this at all, but 365 for hot chocolate. It's just something I do. I don't drink coffee. I never have. This is my vice. And when people say, why do you drink that every day? Well, this is what I do. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't party. I don't go out. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is my one vice, and I think it could be a lot worse. So I'm happy with this, and I'll spend the 365 a day. So it's like, over $100 a month or whatever. But my point is, if I woke up and said, I can't have Starbucks because I can't afford the 365, then, my brain shuts down, I move on to something else, and it just goes by, and then I never figure out, how I can afford it. So what Robert says is, as soon as you say I can't, instead of saying I can't, if you're thinking it, stop thinking it, replace it with how can I? So I can't afford Starbucks every day. Well, no. How can I afford Starbucks every day? Right? If I really want my Starbucks every morning, and it's important to me, how can I afford it? Then your brain starts going into overdrive, and you're thinking, okay, let's see, I got to make another $100 a month. So that means, a few hours more at my job, or a couple hours of overtime, if you have a job. I don't have to buy those clothes this weekend at the mall. I don't really need them. I just, they're cute, whatever. So that your brain starts thinking of ways and ideas. Do I have something I can sell in the house that I don't use anymore? Can I clean out my garage? Stuff like that. So it starts going into idea mode, thinking, I really want that Starbucks. It's important to me. How can I afford the 365 a month? A day, a month. That'd be great, wouldn't it? So, or not every, you don't have to have every day if you want it, a couple times a week or whatever. But you have, you're trying to justify spending $365 for hot chocolate, or $5 for a latte, or whatever, however they cost. But so that's what your brain does. You have to reprogram your brain. We all have to do it. Okay, it took me a while to do it, but every time I'm about to say I can't to something, my brain stops, because I'm programmed now to think, well, wait, I want to do that. So how can I afford it then? What do I need to do? There are ways, right? Believe it or not, there's a ton of money out there to be made. Okay, you just have to know where to look, and you have to keep an open mind. That's the other thing. Years ago, too, myself, when somebody said something to me, for some reason, it was like automatically no. I didn't even look at it. I didn't even ask questions. It was automatically no. And I don't even know why I was saying this. This stems from years and years and years ago. But I don't do that anymore. I have a very open mind when somebody comes, even though my plate is full. I mean, I'm in We Got Friends. I trade. I have a YouTube channel with my son. I also have this personal channel that I keep up. So, and I'm a single mom of 2 kids. Okay, so my plate is very full, but I've learned that if I say no all the time, good things are going to pass me by. Right? So I have to keep an open mind, and I've learned that over the years, and it's a learned skill. So you have to practice it. Every time you're about to say no, stop yourself and replace that with, yeah, I'll take a look. It takes you, minutes, right? You don't have, 5 minutes out of the day to take a look at something that, a friend or a colleague or whatever introduced you to, right? It could be the thing you've been looking for years, right? That's how I feel about We Got Friends, actually, is that it's something that I've been looking for. I've been in MLMs before, but I've never felt like I belonged there, if that makes sense. This one here, I have a lot of friends in it. I know the owners. I know who started it. I've been following them for years. I'm friends with one of them. That's who I joined. And I feel like I can ask questions. I feel comfortable. Okay. And all the other ones I've joined where I don't really know who started it, or it's just, a friend of a friend of a friend introduced me. It didn't feel, I don't know, it's just weird. It didn't feel like I belonged there. But in We Got Friends, maybe because of the title, I don't know. We Got Friends. Maybe that's why I feel like I'm, that I belong there, and that it's going to be, it's going to be huge, and it's going to be fun to work, because there's so many different ways to make money besides just the binary and building a team, if that's not your thing. So it's something for everybody. Plus, I need the leads to, build other things. So the 100 leads a month is going to be great for, building other things. So besides We Got Friends. But anyway, so what you need to do today, after you watch this, every time you start to say I can't for something, switch that around and replace it with how can I. It'll do wonders for you. I'm serious. I'm not, blowing smoke here. I've studied Robert Kiyosaki. I've read his books, and that's just, I know this works, okay, because I've done it on myself. And stop saying no so quickly to things, because you never know what's out there. You never know what's going to be introduced to you, or even just, because I always used to say no to going out. It sounded good at the time. I'd be like, oh yeah, like, a few weeks before, oh yeah, let's do that, let's plan it, blah. And then the day would come and I'd be like, no, I don't think so. I'm gonna stay home or whatever. And I've missed out on, but most likely was a lot of really fun things to do. But for some reason I had it in my head, it was just a trigger, and I would just say no without even thinking. So now I don't do that, because I don't want to miss out on anything, right? These are memories that we make as we, go through this life. And the older I get, the more important this becomes for me. So just no, change the wording in your mind. Negative thoughts go in heads every day, in your head, right? All day long, right? As soon as they come in, be aware of it and replace it with something positive. And I swear to you, it will change the way you look around at life, the way you treat your business, the way your personal life, changes, and especially the word I can't. You have to replace it with how can I? A positive phrase instead of I can't, because then your brain starts going to work for you and figuring out ways how you can afford it. And believe it or not, it'll change, because you will be able to afford it, and then it'll just be like, oh, why didn't I do that before? Right? Why am I always saying I can't afford that, or I can't do that, or I can't do this? It shuts your brain off automatically. That's just the way we're wired. So you need to rewire yourself. And we all know that we've heard this for many, many years. If you're in any sort of psychology classes, any sort of, if you've done any self-help over the years, any mindset, audios, videos, whatever, right? We've all heard that we've been programmed since we were little. No, stop doing that. No, don't do that. Don't touch that. Don't do, right? Because that's what we tell our kids. Because when they're little, they don't know better. Right? When the kids are little, when my kids were little, I told them no all the time because they don't know better to, don't stick that fork in the outlet, right? You have to tell them, right? But we're older now, so we need to reprogram our own brains. Okay? So I hope you guys have a great day and whatever you're doing today. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.